let's just talk about the Paris farmers thing for a second. Because in the context of the blog thing, I'm telling you, my friend, it was maybe the most hard thing to figure out what's going on. You really have to triangulate, like, to find out what's actually going on. Because here's the thing. A part of this is what I think. From looking at 10 different things that are telling me 10 different things. It seems like the farmers, who are kind of doing their own Canadian trucker thing, but French, you know what I mean? We have had enough. And they're
these baguettes are not going to grow themselves.
That's kind of what they're saying, right? And basically, a lot of it is, it seems to me that the government of Germany, France, Belgium have all put on these like aggressive restrictions, and it's all part of their like net zero climate policy, right?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, yeah.
From the net zero climate policy, and they're essentially eliminating a tax break on diesel because part of this like sort of WEF business, they think like diesel's a bad energy source, right?
Right.
So they just kind of like went hard on all this stuff like really too quick, right? And the farmers have had enough is what it sounds like. Simple as that. There was like a big, because they make these subsidies.
And they're getting less subsidies. I think that's another thing.
Yes, but I think when you phrase it as a subsidy thing, it's kind of, it presents it as like, oh, they're just taking away a subsidy. But the problem is when they do these big subsidies, you sort of have to commit to them for a while because people have to build infrastructure.
Yeah, for sure. They have to switch over to them.
Yes, they switch over. They build their whole new machines. They kind of like, okay, stop using this. They start using this. They plant different crops. They sort of, you incentivize things. So if you do all that stuff and then you take it away, you kind of like.
But the problem, I think, is that sometimes the economics of them, like in Canada with dairy.
Well, that's a big dairy is more the lobby issue.
Yeah, but they go like there's the demand for dairy versus the supply is so off kilter that like they essentially the government has to be like, okay, we'll just buy your dairy from you at
But
this
that's
price.
not what's happening here.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know
point.
what yeah.
The Canadian dairy thing, like there's a lot of stuff where it is just like the lobby fights so hard for them to like prop up an industry, and that's a big, they just have big, fucking boys in Washington, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, they even do commercials. Like if you think about it, like remember the milk camp, the Got Milk?
Yeah.
Or like eggs, like just the fact that there were just commercials for eggs.
Paid for by the government.
But it's just like, it's just like not a brand.
Yeah, that
it's
is
just
true.
Eggs.
Sort of a good point. I don't really think of that.
It's like there's commercials for eggs.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point though. You see like a commercial for like burgers.
Yeah, not for burgers, beef.
Yeah,
whatever. It's just like, is there any kind of beef? No, just beef.
Yeah, iced tea.
Yeah, just drink.
Yeah, everyone should drink iced tea. The iced tea lobby, fucking. Good. You go, which brand? You go, they're all good.
Yeah, they're all good. We love them all. We don't discriminate over here. Just as long as you support your local iced tea sales.
Just have an egg. Yes, it is sort of an interesting thing to think about.
Just eat eggs, and then there was like, but they had to counter because everybody was like, eggs are bad, and they're like.
Okay, so what after you looking at it, you kind of came to somewhat of a similar conclusion that a lot of this stuff has to do with the global, and then because of that, they were like letting in Ukraine imports too cheap, and it was sort of a lot of these.
Yeah, they want more
factors
protectionism, and
sure,
which is common.
But a lot of it kind of has to do with the global warming stuff, and what. If you look at the articles, news clippings, if you watch the videos, not a single article or news thing will mention the net zero or the climate policies. Some of them are even are promoting this as like, oh, the farmers are saying we demand a living wage.
Right.
Like some of them are saying.
That's one of the ones I saw, yeah.
Yeah, and you're just like, it's such and I guess it's happening in a different part of the world, so you can just say anything, but it's like, they're like actively giving you disinformation about what's happening.
Yeah.
Like to use their terms. It's like literally I try to figure out what's happening. It's kind of like the Trump thing. If you asked one of these guys, they're just like, yeah, it's like basically because of all this fucking like globalism shit, they're turning the subsidies down because for global warming stuff, right? And shit like that. And then if you talk to the news, they're just like, people need a living wage.
And they play the angle. There's, there could be multiple things.
But they won't mention it because they have to be against it.
Exactly. Yeah. Then there could be multiple things about it true at the same time, and it's just like lying by omission, essentially, where they go like, yeah, it's a part of it. We're just gonna keep that out of our articles. We're not going to mention it. So,
dude, it's like you get fired from work and you don't mention that it was because you stole. It's like you're like they fired from work.
Stuff kept going missing at work, so then a few of us got fired.
Yeah, they don't even have it anywhere near there.
You go, actually.
So I'm trying to I'm reading about this thing and I'm like, the farmers are pretty clear. Like we've had it up to here with the globalist agenda. And it's like kind of on the truckers thing, but it's like they're just like reporting it wrong.
Yeah.
It's like that's not what they're saying.
No. Well, they're a bunch of liars.
It would be like if you saw girls protesting for like, it is funny to think too, because they have the girls that are protesting for blocking roads for global warming, and then there's people blocking roads because of the global warming policies.
Yeah.
So you basically have like two people. You go, if you support global warming, you're gonna block the roads. If you don't support, like roads are getting blocked.
Yeah, roads are getting blocked. Yeah.
How crazy is that? Is like two different protests blocking the road, and you go one because like they're using diesel, and one because they're not using enough diesel. They're trying to stop diesel.
And then they both meet at the Louvre to splash fucking soup on the Mona Lisa.
That's when the truckers need to start splashing.
I think
soup.
they did. I think there was
They're dumping manure everywhere.
No, but oh yeah, that sucks. But the Mona Lisa got some soup splashed on it this week, and I think it was for like some sort of living, because you think it was for climate, and then it actually wasn't a climate thing. It was for like some sort of living wage thing. But I don't think it was for the farmers. I think it was just in general.
Yeah, they're definitely making a mockery.
Dude,
of
I'm serious. Like,
they make it very difficult to get a.
If I'm like the head of security at any major museum, I'm like, hey guys, just number one, nobody's allowed to bring soup in to the museum. No soup coming into the museum, because all that happens is you get fucking splashed on.
Definitely shut down the soup
store.
at the museum.
Just if we're going through bags and people have like bowls of soup,
thermos full of soup,
full of soup, cans full of soup, anything that you might think is a soup.
Do you think that you'd have ever a truck, like you have basically one of the farmers and one of the protesters, they're both like going to grab soup and spill it at the same time, and they just sort of just stop and
No, they do the thing, the New Year's, like, the New Year's Eve toast where they lock the arms for the champagne. They do that and they go, 1, 2, 3, and they both throw their soup.
And it's like, why are you throwing soup? Too much diesel. Why are you throwing soup? And just trying to stop diesel.
Everybody's like, get in line. Like the whole line for the Mona Lisa now is not even to like look at it. It's just to toss soup on it.
Hey. The more diesel lines over there. You're in the not enough diesel line.
They should do like those smash rooms or whatever where you can destroy things. Just like a replica museum where you can just like, you walk in, there's just vats of soup. Just grab like a little jug. Just
like a rage room.
Yeah, rage room, but it's like a museum soup room.
They have sort of fake Mona Lisas, and you get to go throw soup at it.
On it.
Simulation protest?
Yeah.
Do you think they have a simulation protest game where you get
probably
and you get the extra points if you block off the most roads?
yeah, it's who can fully cover the Mona Lisa, fully ruin the Mona Lisa.
I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have the literally opposite protests going on in the same country using the same techniques. You go, wow, you can't. Hey, don't try to drive down Pierre Street because oh yeah, the anti-climate protests are blocking that one. No, don't try to drive down Jacques Street because the climate.
It's Rue Jacques, Ryan.
Rue Jacques. You can't fucking drive anywhere in that country. Girls are fucking walking around with their titties everywhere.
Wow. Let me tell you,
let's just all agree. Why don't we just stop blocking every road and go back to normal? How about that?
It's easy for you to say from your fucking White Castle or whatever.
A white robot castle.
White robot castle perched up right there, but farmers don't have it so easy. They gotta dump manure everywhere.
Well, I can sort of understand that if you're a farmer and you're just like, hey, you built this whole thing, and then like Macron goes to his like WEF
crow overlords,
pedophile orgies.
Hey, we're not doing that anymore. Also, with that farmer stuff, it's like you're getting these promises from a previous government, and then like new government comes in and go, well, yeah, that was them, and we're not doing that, so sorry.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, these are kind of our lives.
I think they sort of just think that they can more just like push it, and then I guess people sort of had enough or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is like it is very similar to the trucker thing. It kind of seems like they're using all sort of the same techniques.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they saw that it worked.
It is sort of funny dropping off piles of manure at the government offices. That is sort of a funny technique.
I mean, or you could do the Italian method where they just blow shit up. They'll just leave bombs there. That's what they do in Italy. They'll just bomb. When I was in Naples, like a week after I left Naples, there's just like an explosion at the tax office.
Really?
Yeah, because that's what they feel about taxes.
Who did that?
The mob.
The mob says what?
This was in Naples. They just, they get beef with political...
Florida?
No, this is in Italy. No, in Italy, because there's like that's like the
second Naples.
The second Naples won technically, but they just have mad beef because they're a power struggle essentially between the mob and the actual government to be who's the most powerful. And then there's like, yeah, we'll just blow up your fucking. Here's a little bomb at the tax office. Enjoy.
Well, I'll tell you. It was hard to get the info on that. That was my hypothesis after trying to find that. And so if there was one news station that was just like, you know what? We're just going to sort of tell you what happened. Probably be a lot better than what
that
they got going on now.
That is the one thing that I wonder, because a lot of people say that, and I do wonder if there's, because I know some...
They can't all do that, but one of them can.
Yeah, but the problem is, I guess then they're not...
Because people do still want to know what's going on.
But it's like, it's the if it bleeds, it leads kind of
I know
moniker,
if it bleeds,
where they
it
go,
leads.
Where they go, okay, well, we're up against someone who's covering like this thing that actually wasn't that big of a story, but they're manufacturing it into the
obviously black wrestlers over black dillies does better than just saying like Vince is in trouble.
Or the like, you remember there was for a moment during the Trump era when there was so much negativity, and then everybody's like, why can't there be like a news source where we just say the good things that are happening, instead of just being all the bad things.
No one wants to watch that.
Nobody wants to tune in. They go, there's no hungry people anymore. You go, great, I don't care.
That's local news where you go, oh, Martha had her pie off.
Of course, but even if you want to do macro, you go, well, yeah, there's like, we've eliminated global hunger, which we have. Like essentially like global hunger, like that shit where we saw those commercials when you were a kid where the kids with the flies, like I don't think that exists anymore.
Definitely fucking eliminated your hunger.
I don't think that exists anymore. Like global hunger, like it's pretty much eradicated.
It's not as bad.
I think it's, from what I understand, pretty much. I don't think there's like
you can say that from your White Tower. There's probably some
sipping on my gravy, but
it's probably not the same. But I think there is some,
or maybe some, but it's like mostly eradicated from what I understand. But if that was the news, people would be like, yeah, I don't know, it's not really a story.
Do you think it was the egg commercials that had something to do with that?
That fucking powerful egg lobby.